we all agreed on something wholeheartedly. And it's not for anything monetary. It's not for anything for us to, we're not going to receive the benefits of this today, of what we're standing up for. It's our children and their grandchildren and their grandchildren. Thank you. All the assistance that's coming in from all the nations, it's humbling. And on behalf of our people here on Standing Rock, I want to thank each and every one of you and your people back home also. As our values teach us, you know, we value life. So all the way down the Missouri, the Mississippi, we think about them also too. If we can do something that will help the people in the future, and water is, you hear that all the time, say, mini wichone, or my uncles told me, mini unwichone, anything that lives cannot exist without water. So, you know, one of the beliefs is that we are one with everything that has a spirit, whether it's trees, blade of grass, and animals, everything. It's our cultural traditional teachings helped us in making this decision, and at times it can be not trying, but it's a good feeling knowing that we have so much support. Because when we have our tribal nations come together, although we come from different backgrounds, we come from different treaties, we come from different whatever had happened to our people in the past, we're still here in the fact that we exist. Some would say that's a paradox. You know, we shouldn't be here. But we exist here today, and to come here to stand in unity with our people, it's something that I never thought I'd see in my life. And what we have here is a prophecy. Prophecy. Something that was said in the spiritual nature that was going to happen here. And I didn't know it was going to happen on Standing Rock. I didn't know it was going to happen within my lifetime. So every time we have our relatives, I consider all you my relatives, come in, it's humbling. All the support, the prayers especially. You know, it's as a young man myself, you know, I know that we have a long ways to go, and this is a beginning, a new beginning of that prophecy, what we were told. And you know, I foresee that our nation's working together, not working against the government, the states, but working together as sovereign nations. And that's the good I see, because now with the spiritual basis, with the good heart to move forward and be able to address the issues that have been plaguing us, all of the symptoms. So it's very humbling to sit here. And you know, I'm happy that I was able to be here. I know Chairman Archambault, he's really very busy right now. And myself, I visit with him every day. I come into the office and visit. And believe me, his heart is in this. And this letter here, it gives us strength, because not only does it come from the leadership, it comes from the people of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, and we welcome that with open arms. So once again, I want to thank each and every one of you. It's a new day and age for all of us in Indian country.
We actually have a permit that we filed for to host the camp. So it's done legally. We've got the process going. So I like to say that we're occupying enemy territory right now. Then it was hundreds. We had no idea it would be thousands. No idea. It's such a blessing to know that so many other nations, not just tribal nations, nations around the world. Look at our map. Our map has we needed to bring in a world map because we have arrows pointing, people drawing their own countries in because they're not found on here. There's no more room on this map. This is the thousands of people that are here. And from day one I was involved in this just because of my position as the environmental director. You know, it's my job to be able to sit and to have to look through the environmental assessment. Let's identify what the flaws are, what are the flaws in this draft. And so we're helping developing all of the points that, to which our legal team could officially, put in our comments to the U.S. Army Corps. But of course, even with the backing of the U.S. EPA, the Department of Interior, and the Council on Historic Preservation, the ACHP, with even having their backing, we were still ignored. They still allowed the final draft. Environmental assessment. This is over 1,000-mile pipeline. How can you tell me that there is no significant findings of any sort? That there are no cultural and historical sites? I mean, while they were going to plow right through the one in Freeman. Well, no, that was the spill in Freeman. That was the Keystone. The big Sioux Wildlife Refuge. They had identified a huge burial, and so their idea of going around this is go completely under it. But that does not follow within our beliefs. Our beliefs is that spirit is there, that all the way to the core, all the way to the ends of the universe. So you are invading our spiritual, cultural territories in these burials by entering that space. So, but that's just the cultural, and of course, the number of the 200 and some different waterways they're crossing. What could be to the large rivers like this. They're crossing this Missouri River twice. They're going to be boring under it twice. How can you tell me that that is not a risk? And why everybody all the way from Lake Sakakawea, we know what's going on up there. We see it. We hear it. We know our brothers at MHA Nation and what what their people are suffering from. Just the environmental degradation that's going on there. It's tragic. It's tragic, and you see the evidence. I mean, the evidence is there. Pipelines, it's there. You see it. The Kalamazoo, it's just recent. They're still trying to clean that up. The Yellowstone, the 2 spills that they had in the Yellowstone, those environments still have not recovered, and it's years later. I don't want that burden is mine when this pipeline breaks. We are the first responders, and get emotional, but it's a heavy burden. I feel the burden, and so that's what's so beautiful about this, to see everybody come together, and that the burden is not just mine. Everybody feels it, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be here. It brings all of the effort, all of the stress, all of the work, the sleepless nights is now come to fruit, and here we are, and it's here. The people are here, and it feels good, and I'm so glad that I get to be here on a daily basis and get to meet the people and get to this is still a part of my job. That's what I love about this. Is I'm still at work, but this is it's rewarding. It's rewarding to be here and be able to hear people's stories, hear how people are very passionate still and want to maintain the health of our environment. Cultural is our best bet, because no matter what type of work is done, they have to maintain cultural sites. And even our communications with the state historical preservation offices have not been good, especially with North Dakota. North Dakota, knowing that they were going to intentionally plow through cultural sites all throughout the state, they allowed They allowed them. They submitted their letter approving they got the archaeological approval then from the states, but there was no tribal consultation. So how could you can't tell me that state archaeologists know how to identify, even worse, DAPL archaeologists, how the state could back DAPL, Dakota Access, being able to use their own archaeologists for the full length of this. How do they know what our cultural sites are? Mm-hmm. They don't. And they purposely went out and followed one of our teams and took that information, that identification, to use it to their own benefit, to try to say that they could identify sites further down the line. But they can't. They don't know. They don't know what is the difference between a glacial rock pile to a rock cairn. They can't tell the difference. They walk right past them and thinking that's just straight glacial drift, and it's not. And it's a rock cairn, or it's a ring of, or effigies, and these are very spiritual places. People don't. The rest of the world doesn't understand that. It is. Again, it is. We as the tribe, Standing Rock Sioux tribe, never knew what this would grow into. And to know that we had four of the bands, 5 potentially coming in, we knew that we had the opportunity, that our tribal leaders, our cultural leaders, knew that we could, that somebody had the knowledge of how to erect the council lodge. And the first time that I seen that going up, when I came in here and they had started putting it up that day, it literally gave me chills to see that, to know that this has never been seen since the Battle of Greasy Grass, and we all know how that ended. And so it brings strength to this. It brings the power of prayer. It is so powerful here that the spirit is in the air. You feel it, and it's because of this. And not only is it because of the Tvshka, it's because of all of the rest of the tribes. We have standing here with us. Tribal have been generations of enemies, our tribal enemies. We welcomed in the Crow, to which we have always, and still to this, up until we allowed them in here, we have had hard feelings that carried into generations from going back to centuries ago. We have a Pawnee camp right down the road. Pawnee haven't been in this territory since before they broke off with the Arikara, the current Arikara that first resided here. So it's beautiful that we can have all of these different tribes come back to their home ancestral territories.